amazing flavor is an amazing human who has perfected their craft. Welcome to Flavors Unknown, a series of inspirational conversations with renowned culinary leaders. Discover how their cultural identity shapes their creative process. With your host, Emmanuel.
Hi, Chef. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. How are you?
I am very good. Thank you for asking. And I am really excited to have you on the show as a guest, talking about obviously what you do, but as well talking about Istanbul and Turkey. I had the chance to do my first ever trip to Istanbul a few weeks ago, and I really love the complete experience that I had in the city. I'm sure I'm not the only one when they come to Istanbul. And I have as well the opportunity to taste your food and your tasting menu at Neolokal. So thank you very much for accepting to be on the show and share with a greater audience about Turkey, about Istanbul, and obviously your concept. So I wanted to start by really focusing on Istanbul, because obviously for the listener who might not have been to Istanbul. So in your own words, how would you describe that city, but more from a food standpoint, more than from a landscape?
Yeah. Well, Istanbul is a cosmopolitan city in Turkey. There are more than 20 million inhabitants. That is 1/4 of the country's whole population, actually. In the 70s, Istanbul had a lot of migration from Anatolian towns and cities. And all these immigrants felt the necessity of bringing their own traditions and cultures from their hometown to Istanbul. So Istanbul's culinary scene became much more vibrant every day. So today you can find any kind of food from all around Anatolia in Istanbul. But of course, the Istanbul cuisine too. So for someone who haven't been to Istanbul, what I will tell them is going to be, you are coming to a city of gastronomy. With a lot of heritage that goes back to millennia, more than 70 civilizations. Yeah.
So you talk about Anatolia. So can you just locate it? It's on the east side of the country, correct? Anatolia?
Yes. So if we think of Turkey, Istanbul has a river connecting Black Sea to Marmara and Aegean Sea.
Yeah, the Bosphorus, right? River.
One part is accepted to be in the European continent. The other part is accepted to be in the Asian continent. So European continent is called Thrace. Asian continent part is called Anatolia. That goes until the borders of Georgia, Armenia, Iran, Iraq, and Syria.
Okay. Thank you for the precision. So, where obviously people outside of Turkey, when they say Turkish food, I'm thinking about people in the US when they go and they say, "Well, yes, we had Turkish food." What do you think they usually misunderstand or maybe oversimplify about what Turkish food is?
Well, actually, it's not wrong, but it is a simplification to a nation that is called Turks today. In my opinion, the way I would put it would be, Anatolia has been a geography for many nations. We're talking of more than 70 civilizations in the history of mankind. And the borders always changed. And the emperorships has always changed. And Anatolia has always been a melting pot of cultures, traditions, history, and religions. So minimizing such a deep history of culinary culture into one nation would not be right. So instead of using that, I would prefer calling it Anatolian cuisine, whereas Anatolia is not that familiar for the people's eyes and minds in the world.
Okay. So when I was in Istanbul and I went to, especially for lunch, I went to different places and so on. And you had always, generally, again, I'm going to generalize, but on the menu, of course, things that was more like Anatolia inspiration, and then another one that was like Ottoman inspiration.
Yeah.
So can you explain to us a little bit that difference?
Of course, Ottoman cuisine is mainly accepted to be the palace cuisine. So what it was cooked in the palace, in the Ottoman palace, it was mainly what would a sultan like to eat. But on the other hand, it did not stay in the palace, but the palace tried to represent those cuisines, those recipes, those dishes all around Ottoman Empire by imarates. So they built up a cultural center back then, cultural hub, so that they could bring the culture of Ottoman palace so that they wouldn't be that far from each other. So I'm not a historian, but if I may put it in a right way, Ottoman cuisine is all about what palace cooked, and it was never down to the general public. So the general public, for me, is the cuisine of the people of Anatolia. So then I would easily call it Anatolian cooking.
Can you give us like one or two example of like what Ottoman like dish could be, or Anatolian traditional dish could be?
Well, in Ottoman cuisine, in palace cuisine, you see many influences from other cultures and countries and emperors. So like using dried fruits in the savory dishes has always been a thing of palace cooking, or eating compotes next to a savory dish has always been a part of Istanbul and palace cooking.
When you mention dry food, sorry to interrupt you, but you mentioned like, for instance, figs, you mentioned, dates,
figs,
apricots, okay.
Figs, apricots, peaches.
Okay, thank you, yep.
But in Anatolia is a huge geography. From the zero ground, you can go up to 4,000 meters altitude, and you can see different climates and different culinary richness in different parts of Anatolia.
And yourself, you are from, and I'm sorry if I pronounced it incorrectly, but you are from Antakya. Is it the right way to say it? Sorry.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Actually, original name is Antioquia. I am from Iskenderun. It's the neighbor town of Antakya. But my mom is from Antakya, so we are from there. We have always been there, like my family and ancestors. So Antakya is named Antioquia, and Iskenderun is named Alexandretta after Alexander the Great, because the Romans, approximately 3,000 years ago, it was under the Romans' rule. So they were the outposts of Roman Empire, because Iskenderun is a huge harbor, and it is the very eastern Mediterranean part of the world geography.
And how far is it from Istanbul?
It is an hour, 30 minutes flight.
Okay.
If you want to drive, it takes approximately 12 to 13 hours. 12,
13 hours, okay. So, and when you close your eyes, I mean, what's like the flavors or the smell of your childhood, Well, what was cooking in the house at that time?
I would like to tell you one thing. The Anatolian geography is majority of minorities, so there are a lot of minorities in this country. And I myself am a minority too. I'm originally Syrian, because the city I was born was, it was Roman Empire once, then it was Ottomans, then Assyrians, then Ottomans, then Syrian under the French rule, then joined Turkish borders. So borders always changed, but we remained there. So wherever we remained is what we call Levant, a part of Middle Eastern. So so my cuisine is influenced by geography. So we are proud of our hummus and kibbe, for example, and our flavors are spicy and rich.
So when you say spicy, can you be more specific? Because spicy for us here could be a lot of things. We are close to Mexico, so.
Oh yes.
So, what is spicy here for you?
So, to tell you the truth, the geography there is hot in summer. So, when it's hot in summer, you have much flavorful, much hot and spicy peppers. And also, I should put this, Antakya and Iskenderun has been the end of the spice routes in the history. So, where they docked the spices, one of the spice routes were in my hometown. So, we were influenced by those Asian spices a lot, and our cuisine has always been rich with the vibrant flavors of different spices all around the world. But our main spices that we use is the cumin, if I may say, and sumac.
And sumac. But you were talking about the chili and so on. So is it like the Irfan biber and then the Aleppo pepper? That's the one that you guys have.
Yes, that's correct.
There? Okay.
What they call Aleppo pepper is we call it Samandağ biberi because there is this town close to borders of Aleppo. They are famous with this super spicy pepper.
Okay. So biber or bibere, it means like what, chili for you, or is it the word in Turkish for?
No, biber. No. Biber. When you say biber, it's pepper.
Oh, pepper. Yeah. Okay, got it.
But when you say biberi, it is pepper of Urfa, for example, or pepper of mine.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you for the precision.
No worries.
So if someone land in Istanbul for the first time, what should they eat? Like in the first 24 hours when they begin? I have to say that the first 24 hours I went to your restaurant. So
oh yes,
I had the show for the first night.
Exactly.
After that, I'm like, what do I do after that?
Well, when I have a guest, I prefer having them the last night so that it makes sense what we do. But honestly speaking, wherever you go in Istanbul, you always have the super delicious flavors. The street on a low-level restaurant, mid-level restaurant, or high-level restaurant, it doesn't matter. But what I would suggest you is, I would want you to catch a glimpse of what our cuisine has offering. So I would definitely suggest you to go to lokantas. Lokantas are restaurants where home cooking is cooked in bigger scales for the workers around them.
Is it like the equivalent of like cafeteria, for instance? Something that we call it that way?
Taverna, cafeteria,
got it.
More or less. But what happens is every day the menu changes and there are big cups of food that is normally cooked at homes, and you just pick what you want and you can always have different dishes when you go there. Lokantas are great example of what we cook at homes, because like for 24 hours you will not be able to come to my house and my mom won't be able to cook for you because we won't be knowing each other. But lokantas will give you an idea. But on the other hand, we are famous about our breakfasts. But not the rich, fancy ones. But our breakfast is super simple. Like I would definitely ask you to go to dairy custard shops where they do also chicken soups, eggs, simple tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers, and some honey and clotted cream.
And some beignets.
These are the items that would totally be enough for a Turkish breakfast.
And and if you knew that, I will say take it as a brunch because you don't need another lunch after that.
I totally agree.
This is amazing. So yeah, absolutely. So we have to obviously focus on Neolokal and the concept and so on. And obviously it's a beautiful location and beautiful view as open kitchen on the one floor and then the bar and the room upstairs. I had the chance to do a lot of tasting. I do about like maybe 60 tasting a year. A lot of different restaurants, but being like, and obviously I'm going to show it to camera, it's going to be upside down. I kept it obviously, but being like welcomed by what the concept is about on the table, that's one thing. But then you have this fantastic little envelope where you have all the cards of all the dishes with amazing visuals in the back of some of the ingredients of the plating and a little bit of the history and the ingredients. I thought that was like really unique and an amazing, way to engage with, the diner. And I'm sure you heard it zillion times, but I wanted to make sure that the people that are listening, hear about it. So can you share with us a little bit like the concept of Neolokal? It is obviously modern interpretation, but based on tradition.
Yeah.
And I think it will be interesting to hear your concept.
I will put it in today's example, let's say, today's understandings example. Do we still watch black and white TVs? No. But we still look at we still screens, much more elevated screens. So it's still is something that wants us to look at. For me, traditions needs to be also updated into today's understanding so that it's not out of fashion, because traditions are the things, the memories that makes us who we are today and who we are going to be in the future. So we were always worrying about losing the essence of our traditions that made us who we are today. So somehow we felt the urge to update our traditions, food culture, all these old recipes that came until today, because now the world is really changing and the new generation, young people, young chefs are looking in a different perspective, and they are running after the things that are much more popular, much more trendy. We just wanted to create a bridge between the past, the traditions, and the future, and the perceptions of the traditions in the future, so that we can tell everyone that, listen, traditions can be popular also.
Sure. And,
So
and
that's
updated
why,
for today. Yeah.
yeah, that's why we opened Neolokal, so that we could show the young generation, saying that we cannot be the change maybe, but we can show you how change can be possible regarding sustaining your traditions.
So you're sustaining those traditions, but in the text as well, like in this welcome document, you know, you're mentioning that Neolokal honors like the culture we've lost. So
Exactly.
there's, I mean, in your research approach for creating the menu and creating and obviously probably updating the menu regularly, how do you approach this and rediscovering things that might have been lost or maybe not as maybe popular today?
Well, some lost, but some lost in the minds of people today.
Got it.
Because of not being used or because of not being cultivated anymore. Because when I'm talking of traditions and culture, I'm talking of also the cycles of the nature too. So the cycles of the nature made us who we are and what we eat today. So me being lucky that I was able to cook with my two generations older families, my grandmother and grandmother also. Remembering the flavors and the tastes and the originality, uniqueness of those old recipes, but not being able to find it in the same manner today makes me worry about it. So this is why first I need to understand the way to honor them, and without losing the essence of it, enhancing and enriching the idea of those cultures, making it into something that will make people remember, will make people get to understand and get to learn. So it's kind of a two-way communication between us and the guests. So we want the guests to at least try to see in our perspective, so that they can get familiar with our culture, our traditions, and our culinary background. Well, it's put it in a short way.
Sure.
This is
No.
what we
It's
try to
very
do.
interesting. And so I have two follow-up questions or thoughts here. So maybe the things that are maybe less popular or not known too much now from the younger generation.
Yeah.
So are you talking about the dish? Are you talking techniques? Are you talking an ingredients? All of the above?
Thank you for this question.
Okay.
I am talking all of the above.
Okay.
So I'm talking of an ingredient that makes a recipe, of an ingredient that would make the recipe perfectly delicious, as it was done many centuries.
Do you have an example, for instance, for us?
I can give you a simple example, really simple example. I have been waiting for a whole year to be able to cook eggplants, and it's on the menu in 2 days. I have been waiting, but you might say, okay, eggplants are everywhere now, 12 months a year. But not the eggplant taste and flavor that I remember from my childhood. End of June, July and August. So I miss missing strawberries in winter, but now you can find strawberries in winter. I miss smelling strawberries. I miss the smell of all these vegetables and fruits. We still have those ingredients, but they are almost extinct because it doesn't give you much money than the ones that are produced conventionally, let's say.
Sure, industrial all around the year.
And also techniques.
And yeah.
Techniques are important. So in order for you to update a recipe, you need to know how it is cooked before. What kind of techniques it was used, they were using, our ancestors were using before. So first you need to understand, you need to do the original right version of a recipe. Then you can combine it with the new ways of thinking and modern techniques, yes. But other than that, without knowing that, whatever you do is only just catching a glimpse of a recipe that is too deep for you. Like, it's above your understanding.
Sure. But so my other thought that I had when I was listening to you is that some of those ingredients, obviously, as you said, they are not produced into a larger scale. So how do you do this? I mean, you have obviously connection with farmers and fishermen and all of that, but is it something that you feel is sustainable? Because obviously they are going to produce very targeted, smaller scale, and just curious about that sustainability aspect of things.
Well, unfortunately, there are some products that are produced by only one farmer in the whole country.
Okay.
And I know that if he stops doing it, no one will do it. There are such emotional products. But I can give you one example. There is this black-eyed peas, but they are without black dots. And it's such a sweet variety of black-eyed peas. When I first ate it in Tire, in Izmir, close to Izmir, I wanted to try it on my menu. But I could only find 10 kilos. Then the next year I could find 20 kilos. Then the next year I could find more. Then people, all my chef friends saw me using such a beautiful ingredient and they started seeking for it. Then I shared my contacts with a distributor who distributes all these beautiful rare products from all around Anatolia. Good friend of ours. He started delivering it to the restaurants now. So, and I lowered the amount of our carbon footprints because instead of bringing it only for myself, now one people is bringing for 10 people at once.
Sure.
So it's kind of maybe
your approach,
too detailed, but this is an approach that we are trying to
absolutely
adapt.
Can you maybe pick like one dish that you have on the tasting menu and explain how it's connected to an older tradition behind it?
I'll give you an example of the heirloom wheat grain that we serve with the lamb you had also.
Yeah.
So that wheat grain is called üveyik wheat grain. There is only one producer making this wheat grain. And he's such an amazing guy, Hüseyin Amca. He uses a Japanese spiritual technique while he's planting this wheat grains. It's called Fukuoka, like a technique of Masanobu Fukuoka, Japanese spiritual farmer. And what he does is he just spreads away the seeds and prays. And whatever the soil gives back, he collects it. So that means it's not more profitable than the other wheat grains varieties, but it's way more delicious in my opinion.
Okay.
And he also has apple trees, so he makes amazing apple vinegars. That's why, like for the homage to him, we cook his wheat grains with apple juice and some apple vinegars from his place. Production. So those kind of examples are a lot, and in every menu we try to share those. The red envelope that you showed is what we call story cards of each dish that would give you the feedback of each ingredients in each plate we are serving you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant because I never I'm not saying it's not done, obviously, but I haven't seen it to that extreme. So congratulations.
Thank you.
It's really a great way to engage with your guests, and then everyone is free to just look at the pictures or dive into it and be really interested with the stories. So
Exactly.
I think that's great.
Actually, what we call is it is the intellectual part of the dining experience. So somehow we try to share our vision and our ideas and our philosophy and also our stories with those cards. And some people might be intimidated with having to learn those information, but some people are there to really experience and learn more about our culture. So it's a perfect opportunity for us to share.
Yeah. And another ingredients that for me was really everywhere, obviously. But I was not maybe anticipated to see it like such a large scale. It's the pistachio, like the Antep, like pistachio.
Yes.
And I mean, maybe it's a stupid question, but it's like, why is it so important in the Turkish like culinary identity?
Well, it's a unique ingredient, first of all, and it's a really tasty ingredient. You mentioned I've been traveling a lot, and I am traveling all around, and there are a few items that I bring with me is my spices and my pistachios, and if it's possible, my lamb.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I haven't seen any better varieties in any country I've been to.
Yeah.
So the pistachios we have, all the chef friends, when they taste it, it blows their minds with its rich flavor, beautiful, vibrant green color. So that's why it's important for us to share the way we approach to pistachio.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the chance to taste it in different spice store and so on.
Yeah.
They have different kind, and this one was really amazing. Yeah. So another things that I read about you before having that conversation is that you have been described as really taking like kind of an open source approach by sharing recipes and research and so on, and giving things away, and I mean giving it away, like sharing it. So which is really unique. Usually the world of chefs, people are usually, it changes with the younger generation, but it's very protective usually from their signature or, you know, what they have discovered. So why? It's part of your...
Actually, I somehow partially answered this question, in a way, hidden way, let's say, in a hidden way. So I told you that the reason we opened Neolokal was to make young generation chefs understand that what we do is important so that they can be courageous and do so. We want to become an institution. So if you are an institution, you are an open source. We only hire young chefs who stage in our restaurants. So we don't hire by their experiences, hire by their rich CVs. No, we hire them with their attitudes, with their eagerness to learn and passion working. So what we do and what we share is going to be spread by them in the future. So it's been 12 years that we are open. There are many chef friends who worked with us, who started with us, then worked with us, then made their own restaurants, and they started continuing this philosophy in their own manner, in their own entity, in their own restaurant that they are running or owning. So this is something important for us. So if I have succeeded in it, then there's nothing else I want from
the purpose.
life.
That's your purpose. Yeah. So it's Neolokal University, so which is great. So are you welcoming as well, or taking some people on stage that are coming from other countries just to like learn, or it's more difficult?
Unfortunately, the system doesn't allow us to welcome foreigners to stage in our restaurant.
Ah, okay.
But what happens is we somehow let them observe our kitchen for a short period of time.
Ahead of time.
We open our kitchen with our own, risk actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have them as guests to observe and for a few days or a week or so, and that's it. When they are here.
And you are the ambassador of it when you travel and have conversations and as well cooking with other chefs in other countries.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, very good. Now, I want to ask you in a rapid fire question. Are you tea or Turkish coffee, or both?
Well, I would say tea.
Tea.
Because I drink more tea than Turkish coffee.
Is it true that there is kind of an evolution in the country from the past? It was very much coffee driven, and now there's more and more tea drinker. I've heard that, so I just wanted to ask if it's correct or not.
Well, I will be the bad person of ideas.
Okay.
Well, when Turkish coffee the technique was invented, The coffee came from Ethiopia and Yemen, so African beans and much flavorful, bold beans. But nowadays, all this Turkish coffee roasters, they only use Brazilian coffee. It's not that Brazilian coffee is bad. I've drunk amazing Brazilian coffee, but unfortunately, cheap variety of Brazilian coffee is used for Turkish coffee, which is so strong and not for my palate anymore. But for many, yes, it could be much delicate, but that's why I prefer tea. I think most of the people would think the same way that I think.
Yeah. And I was surprised that everywhere you go, I mean, this is what they bring to you without asking a glass of tea. So you talked before about the Turkish breakfasts, and that is a wonderful experience. But is there like an item among the breakfast that you think that the people should really pay more attention, or that you really love?
Well, I would tell you a few items that is a necessity in Turkish breakfast, which is olives. Cheese, especially beyaz peynir, which is feta cheese. Honey and clotted cream is something that you should definitely go for. If you are a sweet person, then a savory one.
Can I ask you a question on one specific one that's really surprised me? Sorry, I interrupt you on this, but I found like in several places I had something that was like, oh gosh, of course now the ingredient that you use as well in making hummus. What's the name of it? The
tahini.
Tahin, yes. So
Tahini.
And then underneath, was it like pomegranate molasses or something like this? Because there's some that were like with the tahin, and then underneath there was like something sweet and a little bit thick, and I thought it was honey. And then people said, no, it's not honey. It was a bit darker.
It's grape molasses or
grape molasses.
Mulberry molasses. Yeah, mulberry or grape molasses are mixed with tahini. That is something. We have in breakfast in winter.
I never tasted something like this, and with that combination, that's association. That was really amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you in your breakfast. You wanted to say something?
No worries. I would like to add more information to that. The mulberry or grape molasses are the molasses that they dip simit in before they bake. So the simit, the sweetish flavor comes from the molasses.
Oh wow! Yeah. Okay. So the simits, for the people that haven't been there, it's this. I don't want to say like bagel because it's just to try to
make like bagel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like bagel.
The same idea actually.
Yeah, it's a little bit thinner, but as well with a lot of it's sesame seeds. Sesame.
Yeah, a lot of sesame.
On it. Okay, I didn't know it was dipped into the grape molasses.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
That's really cool. And I by the way, sorry, now we are talking about simit, which is again another amazing delicacy that you find everywhere. I found like there was another one sold with the traditional simits where they have like bigger seeds on it. Like I don't know if it was like pumpkin seeds or it was like a simit shape, but it was not sesame seed. It was like it was something different.
It's the modern version of it.
It's the modern version of it. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. A variety of simit.
Yeah. But I thought it was good too.
It is good.
So there's like one Turkish dessert beyond baklava that people should discover.
No, we could talk hours about it, but I will tell one dessert, like one or two desserts. If it's dairy, it should either be keşkül or kazandibi.
Now you have to tell me what it is. Yeah.
Yes, keşkül is a dairy custard with bitter almonds. So almond flour and almonds, and made with almond milk. The other one, tavuk göğsü, kazandibi, is a dairy custard made with chicken breast. But when I say chicken breast, it's really chicken breast. It's an very old Istanbul recipe. Well, I can talk again hours about and around that culture because you used to find it in breakfast places. The reason for that was you need to have the chicken barn next to you so that it's always the freshest chicken breast. But the rest, the legs and the other parts, they would do chicken and rice. The eggs from the barn, they would do menemen and eggs, and they would serve it with some olives, cheese, honey and clotted cream, because they would also get the best milk for their dairy desserts. So chicken breast dessert is a dessert. The custard is rich and enriched with the fibers of the chicken breast.
Okay.
And it has a very different texture, but you don't taste the chicken. It's only a very old Istanbul technique.
So what is the main taste then of it? It's like eggy or from the custard
No,
or
it
no?
doesn't. Well, it's milky.
Milky. Okay.
Well, kazandibi is the caramelized caramel skin version of it.
Okay.
So you have also a caramelized sweet taste.
Oh, okay. I haven't had the chance to try that. I have to come back.
And if you are going to go for a cake-based dessert, then I will definitely suggest tulumba and revani.
Okay.
So tulumba is a churros-like dessert,
Yeah.
but the technique is different. So tulumba is cooked, fried in cold oil. Actually, you just pour the dough into a cold oil, then start heating it up and heat up until dough is super crispy outside.
Okay.
That is tulumba, and you put it on a sherbet. Sherbet is a mixture of sugar and water boiled and reduced.
Yeah. Okay.
Then revani is a cake-based dessert mixed with flour is mixed with semolina. So it has this crunchy texture of semolina, grainy texture of semolina with lots of orange flavors if possible. It's also a culture of the Greeks.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm getting hungry. So, what's your go-to guilty pleasure food?
Guilty pleasure food, I have a lot. My goodness. Well, of course, when you feel guilty of having lots of Negronis, then there are these 24/7 soup places that serves soup of brains, tongues,
Okay.
intestines,
Sure.
tripes,
Yeah.
feet, like all the parts of animals.
You need to
go
load.
there, yeah, you go there and you have this garlicky soup and it's done. And other guilty pleasure is a really good doner kebab.
Yep.
And I like chicken and rice that is cooked on the streets in Istanbul.
Okay. So
It
now
was my guilty pleasure before, but stuffed mussels are also something that we used to go a lot, but nowadays it's hard to find uncontaminated mussels in Istanbul.
Okay. So as you have a lot of young chefs that are coming and training and so on, what's your biggest pet peeve in the kitchen? Something that you cannot stand, things that you are like, it's a no-no in my kitchen.
Well, I told you about our system. We hire only from the stagiaires, and we choose from their attitudes. We choose from what kind of personality they have. So when they start working with us, they already know the system, and we already know that he's going to be or she's going to be the best fit for the team. What's a no-go for me is not being able to cut perfectly. No, when I see it, okay, let me do it. So don't worry.
You're known for that. Okay. My last question for you. If you weren't a chef, what would you be?
That's an obvious answer. I studied tourism and hotel management at high school and at university. And while I was studying at university, it's where I got my cooking class at university. But when I was there, actually, I thought if I didn't study tourism and hotel management, I would definitely study design, because I was into designing and drawing things, and I loved it a lot. But I was not that courageous enough to quit and study design. But instead, I always looked at things in my profession from a designer's perspective. So that's why whatever I do in the restaurant they are unique and they are authentic.
Yes, and the plates as well, the recipients that you are using for plating the dishes are as well amazing, and a lot of design there as well. The other comments, what I thought was really good, it's for me, it's absolutely no knowledge whatsoever on the whole wine culture in Turkey, is your wine menu that you have that starts with
Yes.
a map of Turkey with all the different regions and all the different grapes, and that was super useful,
Yeah.
I spent time looking through it because it's and I had, of course, conversation with one of your sommeliers and had the chance to taste some wine that I have absolutely no idea about. So that's
Fantastic.
another definitely experience in Neolokal. Chef,
Thank you.
thank you so much for
Thank you so
being on
much.
the show. I'm really glad that we're able to connect and that you reacted positively to my invitation. So I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your kind invitation, and I'm so happy to be able to share with you and your audience, and hope to see you all in Istanbul.